Why is the grass green? And very often you get an answer like, oh, don't ask dumb questions, or who knows, when in fact it's an extremely profound question.
Why is the sky blue?
In both those cases, it goes to the fundamentals, in one case of biology, in the other of a kind of physics. How much better it would be to say to the child, that's a good question, Johnny, I don't know the answer, maybe we can look it up, or nobody knows, maybe when you grow up you'll be the person to find out. I think kids who are discouraged from asking those questions wind up learning the lesson that there's something bad about using the mind, and we lose resources, and we need people able to think complex and subtle thoughts. And I believe a great many children have that capability if only they're encouraged.
You know why people fucking hate you? You know why people don't fucking like you? It's because they see something in you that they wish they fucking saw in themselves. They wish that they had the qualities you had. They wish that they were as comfortable doing uncomfortable shit as you are. They wish that they were okay with being alone. They wish that they were fucking you. And you're sitting here on your fucking ass doing nothing about it. You gotta use all that fucking hate, all that fucking fuel to go and achieve your fucking dreams. Pack your fucking car like me full of fucking orders or whatever it is that you want to do. Do it. Fucking get it done. I believe in you. Nobody believes in you. You don't have friends that believe in you. You don't have a girlfriend that believes in you. Your parents don't believe in you. I fucking believe in you. I believe in every fucking person that's willing to sit down and put in the fucking work and do what other people aren't fucking willing to do. So you have no fucking excuse. You don't have anyone who believes in you. Now you have one person. I fucking believe in you. Go out there and fucking do it.
Number one mistake that you make is that you think they wear jewelry just because they are rich. Firstly, the crowns are made out of gold and other gemstones like crystals, which all contribute to amplifying the frequency of your energetic field. Usually they wear purple to symbolize royalty. They wear this on the head because the head is connected to your crown chakra, your highest state of consciousness, which is purple. A lot of ancient cultures used to be decked out in jewelry. They used to hold canes with metal on the bottom and the top because the earth produces magnetic energy, and by grounding you are actually amplifying your field. When the body is producing a high frequency because of the amplified field, they would be able to sync up with a higher consciousness.
ADHD means attention dialed into higher dimensions. Someone just told me this on my live and I love it. And I will say that my ADHD, which is just a label by the way, is a big reason for my awareness, my spiritual awareness. What started my awakening was I kept seeing repeating numbers, synchronicity, and my ADHD, my hyperactive mind, was able to pick up on a lot more detail that was happening around me. I was able to pick up on that I was creating the things happening in my life. That's what synchronicity means. You're becoming aware that the things happening you have put into action. And at the time when I first started seeing repeating numbers, I didn't know that. I just knew it was trying to tell me something. So ADHD is attention dialed into higher dimensions. You're literally picking up on a higher dimension, because when you are experiencing synchronicity, you're not in tune with time in a physical way. Time is an illusion. So deja vu and synchronicity have to do with being present. And when you're present, that's when you pick up on those higher dimensions, those signs and symbols. Never do I pick up on signs and symbols when I am not present. Meaning if I'm stuck in what's going to happen in the future and I'm having anxiety, I will not experience synchronicity. I'm extremely grateful for the way my brain works. A lot of times it's difficult for me to do things like sit down in a classroom with a bunch of people around me because of my high energy. But it also gives me the ability to pick up on those higher dimensions. ADHD is just a sign of being highly vibrational and in tune with those higher dimensions.
The most powerful healing instrument on the planet is your own voice. If you want to heal, start at the source. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." Sound. Sound created light. Tesla and Einstein both said the future of medicine is frequency. When you speak words like, "I am healthy, healed, whole, and complete," those words vibrate and shape the water within you. We're over 90% water, and our words cause this water to crystallize, aligning with the energy of healing. The vibrations from your words bind with your DNA, creating proteins that resonate with the energy of those words. Your words create your reality. Use your words wisely and let them shape your health and reality.
When that girl was like, say the weird thing. Okay, I'm gonna say the weird thing. I believe that autism and ADHD particularly are more so a spiritual issue than they are a physical issue, because they manifest physically, but I believe it comes from the idea that we are very spiritual beings. And when you have a very spiritual being that comes down into the earth plane and they are trying to ground themselves, they have a very hard time. And we call this neurodivergence, because think about it. Time does not exist in any other realm. What do people with ADHD struggle with? Time blindness. Additionally, sensitivities to senses, right? Senses are physical experiences. Those physical experiences can only happen on this dimension. So in this dimension, people have a hard time dealing with the nuances of they have the issue with the hard time of dealing with the nuances of touch and taste and smell and all the different things that come with the actual lived experience of someone that is actually on earth. So then I wondered to myself, is this acclimation, or this, like, is it really the acclimation to the earth plane that is what causes the neurodivergence? And I'm not saying that neurodivergence is not real. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's very real, but are we looking at the causes wrong?
Of course people think I worship rocks. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I don't believe in God. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I'm weird or crazy. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I'm always positive, never angry, can't express negative emotions or dislike people. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I have the answers to everything. I'm spiritual. Of course I have a bunch of herbs. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I'm going to hell for not being religious. I'm spiritual. Of course people think I casted a spell on them when I just simply removed them from my life. I'm spiritual. Of course I know what you're thinking and can sense your energy. I'm spiritual. Of course I get called demonic for acknowledging my ancestors and spirit guides.
Is actually a projector. Every thought, belief, and vision you hold is like a reel of film. Your brain projects these internal images outward, shaping your reality. If you keep replaying scenes of doubt and fear, that's exactly what you'll see in your life. But here's the power. Just like a projector, you can change the reel. Replace those scenes with visions of success, joy, and abundance. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and real. It simply projects the images you feed it. The magic happens when you consciously choose the movie you play in your mind.
Live their lives and die, never realizing that they were born from the spirit world. It can be difficult for them to understand while in physical form. Often they refuse to believe even after experiencing their true spirit selves.
Crazy, right?
Yes, but I do believe in the spirit world. What about reincarnation? Reincarnation? I don't know much about that.
Reincarnation is the Buddhist philosophy where humans are reborn many times between this world and the next. And I agree. I get the feeling that I was an aristocrat or king in a past life.
You guessed correctly. You were an aristocrat in your past life.
Seriously?
Is that so hard to imagine? People are reborn in different countries and eras as they accumulate experiences for growth. These are the core principles and teachings of reincarnation, a cycle of perpetual rebirth. But when the time comes for them to be reborn, they must forget everything they know and start their lives anew once again.
But why is that? Because that is the rule on Earth.
Wait, what do you mean?
What we mean is, the whole challenge of being in human form is key to remembering your spirit self. Whoa, but wait, that's way too difficult. It's impossible.
I understand. It certainly is difficult on Earth today as we know it. Just mentioning aliens or the spirit world can be controversial. It can get you laughed at too. Which is unfortunate, because throughout life, people have been given different opportunities to remember their true selves and the spirit world.
Haley, And since they are unable to remember, they find themselves in conflict over different philosophies and harbor animosity toward each other, unaware that they were once families and friends in their past lives. You see, it's such a pity.
That's because you've all forgotten your true selves. Our true selves? What do you mean? I don't understand. Who are you? When looking at me, what you actually see is you, reflected back. Try to remember your own true self, the truth of your soul within you.
What did you tell me earlier?
I don't know what HD means, but my doctor says I have 80 of them.
80 of them?
Yes.
The strange ones around you. Pay close attention to the ones that's around you that's strange. Because in actuality, what you're going to find out is if you are normal in a world like this, you're the one that's crazy. See what I'm saying? You see? The ones that you calling crazy, strange and crazy, they have tapped into levels of spirituality that you don't understand. You think that nigga crazy. You see what I'm saying?
Why I said, bro, I'm cool. I'm cool with living the nonchalant, chill life. I don't need all the friends. I don't need all people around me. I don't need motherfuckers telling me congratulations. I don't need validation. I don't need none of that. Why you solo? Why you always hang by yourself? You just stay focused. You go to the crib. You don't leave the crib. You always just in your crib. Why you don't go out? Why you so nonchalant? Why you so cold-hearted? Because people are weird. They weird. Motherfucker tell you to open up to them. You open up and then they throw it back in your face months and months later. You got a close homie. He owe you money. He cut you off because you gave the nigga money when you didn't even have the money to give, but you know he needed it more than you. You gave the nigga the bread. He cut you off because you asked for your money back. Nigga weird. That's why I said, bro, I'm cool.
What is ADHD and how does it relate with God and neuroscience? Now, I actually have ADHD. And over time, I've come to realize that this isn't just a challenge. It's actually a window into the complexity of the brain and God's grace. So let's look at the neuroscience behind it. ADHD originates in the prefrontal cortex. This is the brain area that's responsible for executive functioning like focus, decision-making, and impulse control. In ADHD, this area has impaired dopamine regulation. Dopamine acts like a messenger. It motivates us by rewarding tasks with feelings of satisfaction. In ADHD, the brain struggles to effectively produce and regulate dopamine, making it harder to prioritize and stay engaged. This doesn't mean the ADHD brain is broken, it's just wired differently. For example, hyperactivity can be traced back to an overactive default mode network. This is the area of the brain that generates thoughts while your brain is at rest. This is why people with ADHD may seem daydreamy or jump from one idea to another. But here's where faith comes in. If we flip open to 2 Corinthians 12:9, Paul shares God's response to his struggles. He says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses so that Christ's power may rest on me." ADHD might highlight areas of weakness, but it's also an opportunity to rely on God's strength.
God created us all differently. The creativity, energy, and out-of-the-box thinking often found in people with ADHD only speaks to the uniqueness of His diverse design.
But one thing you got to understand about the chosen ones too is that even though they appear real nice, real sweet, real loving, sometimes they might appear very weak and timid. You know what I mean? And they are also meek. And in the scripture, it say that the meek shall inherit the earth. So basically the earth is their turf. They run this place in the spiritual realm. All right. They are God's favorite. All right. But you got to understand the chosen ones are the most dangerous people on the face of the earth because they can literally write your whole fate. They can write your fate. All right. The chosen ones are like the prosecutors and the judges in the spiritual realm.
When you see Christians do this, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, this represents cutting the connection between the brain and the heart. This is the Antichrist. Christ consciousness happens when the heart and the brain come together and work as one, when the emotions and the intellect work as one. You don't want to be just guided by the emotions. You don't want to be just guided by intellect. They need to become one.
Is when someone uses their spirituality, their faith, their practice, their beliefs, whatever they have, whatever they hold on a religious or spiritual level as a way to avoid dealing with anything on an uncomfortable or negative level, whether it's interpersonal, whether it's in their relationships, whether it's global, systemic. Anyone from any religion, from any faith walk can engage in spiritual bypassing. For example, when I grew up in a Pentecostal evangelical Christian home, I was taught to believe that this earth, this world is not really our final destination. It's not really our final home. Heaven is. And how I saw that, and we currently see that manifested today, is a lot of Christians, you don't see a lot of Christians engaged in any sort of climate change activism, anything that involves talking about global warming, because they've been conditioned to believe that, well, we're not going to stay here forever, so what's the point in caring about this planet when this isn't our final home? So it's a way to kind of gloss over very real issues and to ignore the pain, the suffering, the trauma, any bad thing that's happening in this reality, in this life, on this planet. Or within yourself, like I said. It can manifest in so many different ways. Like another example is if you have lost a loved one and someone has come up to you and said something along the lines of like, oh, well, God has a bigger plan, or God must have needed them to come home. There has to be a plan. There has to be a higher purpose. There has to be a reason for all of this. It's a way to avoid sitting in that grief, that discomfort, all of the unanswered questions that comes with losing a loved one. It can lead to really toxic positivity mindsets by not only denying your own complex emotions and allowing yourself to feel the full spectrum of human emotion, but you end up dismissing other people's pain and suffering and grief as well. Spiritual bypassing can end up in people being really judgy of others and being a little superior when it comes to their own spiritual beliefs. And it's a way for people to justify the suffering of others.
It's unhealthy and you shouldn't do it.
Realize what children are really for on a universal level. Why do children exist? Why do we have offspring? Because I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. I'm really just raising the 11-year-old and the 8-year-old inside of me. But see, I wasn't conscious enough. I wasn't aware when I was 11 and 8 years old. So they are the ones that bring it up out of me. So everything that maybe triggers you or bothers you with your children, they're really just trying to show you these parts of you that you had forgotten when you were that age. So now you'll start to see that the greatest cosmic teacher that you have along this journey are the children.